Arsenal are defeated by Paris Saint-Germain 1-0 at the Emirates. I honestly can't believe it. We got absolutely outclassed by Luis Enrique's Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain came to our ground and within the first 4 minutes said, we're going to hit you with a 1-2 piece. And you know what happened? Kvaratskhelia gave Timber the biggest nightmare I've ever seen Timber be given. That was extremely clinical from Paris Saint-Germain to score that kind of goal in the first 4 minutes of the game. Dembele didn't even think twice before he shot that ball and got it in the far post and in. No goalkeeper is ever saving that. That was an unsavable goal. And Arsenal got a reality check today. Arsenal got a reality check. Arsenal got a little bit humbled. Luis Enrique's side today impressed me with the 1-0 victory at the Emirates today, inches closer to the Champions League final for Paris Saint-Germain, and Arsenal inches closer to being knocked out of the competition. It is honestly extremely painful to watch for majority of that game. For majority of that game, it was extremely painful to watch because I felt like Arsenal did not do enough. Arsenal did not do enough to create chances, especially in that first half, especially in the first part of the first half. Arsenal did not really get into the game at all until I would say about like the 20-minute mark. The first 20 minutes was all PSG. And I don't know if that was the game plan or what we were thinking, but to give PSG that much space and time and ability to play the balls left, right, and center, and even the ability to just pick out the balls from the midfield and be able to catch us quick on counters. We were really disjointed in the first 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes of this game is where we lost the game. We could not recover because we just couldn't get the goals. We just couldn't get the goal that we needed. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you guys thought about the game in the comment section as we are going to break down the game. And yeah, 4 minutes in, the reality check of the tournament has hit us. Ousmane Dembele, unbelievable form he's on. Unbelievable form. When I say he's on unbelievable form, he is on unbelievable form. He's been red hot this season in the Champions League, this season in the league, what he's been doing. He's on 38 goals already this season for Paris. He's on 32 goals already this season for Paris Saint-Germain, 10 assists in the Champions League alone. That's his seventh goal, his third assist. He was just on fire this tournament, and the ability to take that first touch, bang, and it really put us on the couch right away. And the reason why I say this whole situation happened is I look at the lineup and we really missed Thomas Partey today. Now, before we go any further, we got to talk about the team setup and how the team was set up, because I felt like we still had chances to come back. We still had chances to get something from this game. We still had opportunities to get something from this game. But this right here is where I feel like we needed to find some. We needed to get some seconds to calm down and get ourselves sorted. Declan Rice playing in the 6, Moreno playing in the 8, Trossard playing in the striker role. It really messed us up because at times I had Declan Rice coming into the final third, leaving the whole middle of the pitch wide open. I had Mikel Moreno coming higher up the pitch, leaving the whole middle wide open. There was no cohesion. There was no plan. Thomas Partey was thoroughly missed today, as he would usually be the guy who stays back and defends in those kind of situations. And maybe Mikel Moreno should have been the one that picked up, Dembele in that goal scoring opportunities that he had. I really do think we made too many errors in the first 20 minutes, and that is where the majority of our errors came from, and that's how we cost ourselves that first goal. Dembele really shushed the Emirates today, and he just had way too much space. Let me show you guys where Dembele was and how did he have that much space. How on earth did Dembele have that much space in our box? Never do you see a player have that much space in our box. Now, I get it. Declan Rice was helping out Kvaratskhelia. Moreno should be there. That should be on one of our midfielders, either Odegaard or Moreno. What are they doing? Where was the rest of the midfield? Where was the rest of the midfield in this situation? We're going to talk about Martin Odegaard in a second because he was one of the most frustrating players on the pitch today. But it is criminal to allow Ousmane Dembele to have that much space in your box. Any opponent that you give that much space in your box, they're going to have a really good opportunity to score. But then if you give Ousmane Dembele that kind of opportunity, I'm sorry, you're asking for trouble. You were asking for trouble. This is one mistake, and immediately it costs you to a point where you lose. This is what it is. We're in the Champions League. We're at the highest level. We're facing some of the best teams in the world. You cannot switch off and make those mistakes. And Ousmane Dembele, he was perfect. He was perfect. Didn't even hesitate. He took it first touch, and what a finish it was from him. So fair play. Stupid from us, though. Stupid from us. And you know what? Anybody who's complaining about referees today, shut your mouth. No complaining about referees, in my opinion, because we got lucky. We got lucky. On another day, this would have been a penalty. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, if this was an Arsenal player, I would say this is a penalty. I would have said this is a penalty. We got lucky. We're lucky that we did not get a penalty from this situation. Kvaratskhelia going down. This could have easily have been a penalty. We've seen soft penalties given before. This could have been a penalty. Luckily for us, it was not awarded a penalty, and we moved on and we kicked on. We tried to kick on from there. It would have been a shaky moment, but 17 minutes in, we could have been 2-0 down, and that would have been a very difficult tie to get back into, especially if Timber got sent off or something, because that would have caused so much headaches. Luckily, the referee did not send off Timber, and he did not give a penalty. Now, there was a lot of other moments where people were upset about the referee. They were talking about the fact that Bukayo Saka was getting called fouls. Odegaard was getting called fouls, and we were in dangerous positions trying to win the ball high up the pitch, and we couldn't really do much with it. But I think the person who really saved the day for PSG the most and caused us the most problems, of course, is Donnarumma. But the guy who caused us the most problems was Neves. This Neves, brother, every time, last ditch tackle, Neves was there. He was a nuisance. Moreno threw on goal, opportunity to score. What happens? Neves comes, takes the ball. Bukayo Saka, opportunity to shoot on goal. Neves comes, takes the ball. Neves today showed me his levels. Like I knew he was good offensively. I did not know he was this good off the ball. I did not know he was this good defensively. Joao Neves today showed me what he is made of. And fair play to him, fair play to Joao Neves. He showed clean tackle after clean tackle, and he really frustrated us. And I gotta give them their credit there. Fair play. And just to show you guys one more time, people were trying to say this was a penalty for Arsenal. This was not a penalty. He clearly won the ball. He clearly did everything. There's no blaming anybody today. We got to take this L, and we got to go to the second leg, and we got to regroup. Now, before we go any further, there is some things we need to talk about. Please do hit that like button, guys. Please do hit that subscribe button. Bukayo Saka, Nuno Mendes did well for Bukayo Saka, and he really did frustrate us because the referees were calling some soft fouls for Nuno Mendes when Bukayo Saka won that ball just before halftime. But the thing is, just before half, I felt like we were growing into the game. I felt like we were starting to kick on, and guess what happens? We get a goal. But unfortunately for us, the goal was offside. I thought we were good. I thought it was offside. I did think it was offside. When I first seen it, I said to myself, yeah, this has to be offside. Because when you see how Arsenal always set up, we always come from an offside position, trying to come in. But yeah, it was offside. And for God's sakes, please keep Martin Odegaard away from free kicks. For the love of God, keep Martin Odegaard away from the free kicks. He is not a good free kick taker. He hurts us on free kicks. He does not get the ball in the right areas. His delivery is weak. His delivery is poor. I know he helped us score a goal versus Crystal Palace midweek, but Declan Rice should always be taking the free kicks. His deliveries are better. His passes are better from distance, from close range, from everything. I know Martin Odegaard's the captain, but he should not be taking the free kicks at all. Never do I want to see him taking free kicks again. Martin Odegaard we're going to get onto the passenger. We're going to get onto the passenger in a bit. We're going to get onto him in a second because that was surely one of his worst performances in the Arsenal kit by far. We're going to talk about it because that was one of his worst performances in Arsenal kit. What on earth was Martin Odegaard doing today? I don't know. But before we go any further, what was Mikel Arteta doing? Mikel Arteta's first substitution was Ben White. At what minute mark? At what point did he make his first substitution? Am I serious? Is he serious? The 83rd minute. The 83rd minute. Are you serious? Why does it take you 83 minutes, Arteta, to make a substitution? Now, I back Arteta. I think Arteta's a great manager, but he got it wrong today. You can clearly see we needed changes by at least the 60th minute mark. We were. It looked like we were out of ideas, especially with Timber somewhat not himself, his usual self. You should have done something. You should have tried to do something to get Ethan on the pitch sooner. Because when Ethan came on the pitch, it took the 90th minute for Ethan to come on. Ethan came on. He made more of a difference in those 5 minutes than what Odegaard did for the majority of the game. That is an indictment on the captain. Now we got to talk about the captain. Martin Odegaard today, that was an embarrassment. I'm sorry. That was an embarrassment. Martin Odegaard today, zero. What did he do? I'm not a negative person. I'm genuinely a positive person, but that was not a captain's performance. Martin Odegaard today was a passenger. He barely got onto the ball. He barely did anything. He had 27 passes the whole game. He was missing in action. They barely gave him the ball. They barely trusted him. He barely did anything defensively. Martin Odegaard today was as close to useless as possible. And I don't think that's an understatement. For 89 minutes, I don't know what he brought to the table. He did not bring much to the table. He created one chance, fair play. But that is one of your roles on the team. He slows down the play. He every time he gets the ball, it was very predictable. The ball was going backwards or to one of the defenders every single time. And Martin Odegaard is making it extremely difficult to back him when he can't have one good performance. I can't remember the last time Martin Odegaard had a really good performance. It is extremely frustrating that this is our captain and he's putting in these kind of poor performances. I'm sorry. What on earth was Martin Odegaard doing today? What on earth was he doing? This is not a captain's performance. This is not a leader. This is not somebody who you can look at and say, I'm going to go to fight for this guy. He looked like he didn't want the ball. Ethan came on and in 5 minutes did more in progressing us forward and getting more chances in the final third than Odegaard did. Ethan created one chance in 5 minutes. Martin Odegaard created one chance in 89 minutes. I'm sorry, Martin Odegaard, that is one of the most shocking performances from a club captain in one of these games, one of the biggest games we've had in the Emirates in years. And this is the performance you put in? I'm sorry. We got to look at Martin Odegaard differently from now on. He's not that guy. Or either he's not that guy or he's injured. Something's wrong with Martin Odegaard. This is not somebody you go to war with. I can't stand Martin Odegaard right now. The performance that he put in today is unacceptable from even the biggest Arsenal fan that is positive, that backs all the players. This was an unacceptable performance from him. He was easily one of the worst players on the pitch for Arsenal. And the worst part about it, he didn't even want to get onto the ball. He didn't want to show for the ball. You know how before you guys used to make fun of Scott McTominay at Manchester United on how he would barely want to get onto the ball? He would hide behind players. That's what it felt like with Martin Odegaard today. That's what it felt like with Martin Odegaard today. Think about it. Mikel Moreno had more touches than him. Mikel Moreno had more passes than him. Declan Rice, of course, Declan Rice had more passes than him. Declan Rice had double. Declan Rice had double the amount of passes that Martin Odegaard had. Martin Odegaard, you're 26 years old. You're about to enter your prime. You're no longer a 16-year-old wonder kid. This is unacceptable from the club captain. I'm sorry. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable performance from him. Unacceptable. I don't know what else I can say. I don't know what else I can say about him. Martin Odegaard today, shocking from Martin Odegaard. Now, let's get on to Martinelli. Martinelli, how many chances do you need? How many 1v1 chances do you need? Martinelli, I know Donnarumma did well to save the chance. Trossard, I know Donnarumma did well to save the chance. But when you have 1v1 opportunities, be it Trossard or Martinelli, you have to try to take it. And stop being predictable. Martinelli, anytime he gets 1v1 versus a keeper, it's very predictable. He's going to try to go far corner. Leandro Trossard, on the other hand, boy, that was just a good save. I can't really say much. Fair play. Donnarumma today stood on his head, and two of our best chances fell to Trossard, and it fell to Martinelli, and they couldn't capitalize. It is what it is. This is sometimes how the cookie crumbles. But now we know what we need to do in the next tie. The benefit we have is we're now going to have Thomas Partey back. And Luis Enrique today, fair play. He outclassed Arteta. What he did with Kvaratskhelia, getting in the wide channels, creating the space, giving the ball to Dembele, also having their midfielders tracking the wingers to help out so Mendes wouldn't be by himself, so they can keep their shape defensively, was a masterstroke from him. And it could have easily have been 2-0 for them. If Gonzalo Ramos finishes his dinner and doesn't hit the bar, we're talking about 2-0 down going to Paris. But in the same breath, do we want to talk about the fact that Martinelli and Trossard almost made their chances? This game was extremely close. Small margins wins you these games. And the reality of the situation is we were not up to scratch today. That's just the reality. Sorry, Arsenal fans. But the reality today, we were not up to the level, and PSG outclassed us. They showed us levels, be it due to our midfield imbalance, be it due to our forwards. The defensive line, I thought Mazu, Skelly, Kivior, Saliba, they kind of made me feel shaky. They kind of made me feel scared, the way that they would play around with the ball at the back and not really be like... Saliba scares me now. It's weird. Saliba, Kivior, Raya, they all really are they're risk takers. But all season, I've kind of been calm with it. Maybe it's just because it's the semifinals, but I was so nervous every time Saliba had the ball. I felt like I was worried he was going to lose it. Or Raya, every time he took one extra touch before kicking it long, I was worried. But the main issue we had today, there was no outlet. There was no outball to Moreno at striker. There was no Declan Rice to help win the ball higher up the pitch because he was playing so deep. And one thing we learned today about Declan Rice is no longer a 6. Declan Rice is no longer a 6, ladies and gentlemen. Today proves it. Declan Rice is more valuable to Arsenal going forward and winning the ball higher up the pitch and contributing in the attacking third than he is playing as a 6. We need to make sure we know that. Whoever it is, bring back Thomas Partey or get in Zubimendi, whatever we're doing in the summer, we need to go get somebody who can break those lines and who can play as that 6, because Declan Rice is not a 6. Declan Rice for Arsenal going forward is an 8. And people need to understand that. The reason why he's an 8, he's I would compare him to N'Golo Kante winning the ball high up the pitch, having the work rate, being able to go forward and back, but he also has the capability to score more goals. He does. This is so did shit the bed. You know what? Some people are gonna blame Arteta. Some people are gonna blame the players. But today overall, I'm gonna have to put it. I'm gonna have to put it on. I'm gonna have to put on the manager. I'm gonna put on the manager today. It's not only the manager knows what he has to his disposal. He picked a team, and you can say Martinelli and these guys let him down, but overall performance was not good enough. He did not make substitutions quick enough. If you're going to blame somebody today, you're definitely going to blame the manager before you blame the players. That's just the honest truth. You're going to blame them before you blame the players. That is the situation today. You guys know me. I always say no debate, but there's literally no debate today about that. Literally no debate about that today. We already spoke about Dembele's goal. You know what? We spoke about Donnarumma, but fair play. I thought both goalkeepers were really good. I don't know about you guys. I thought both Raya and Donnarumma were solid today. I thought Raya saved us a couple times. Let's be honest. David Raya today saved us. If it wasn't for David Raya, how many chances would we have conceded? David Raya, I think he saved us at least on 2 goals quite easily. And Donnarumma saved PSG on 2 goals also. 2 clear goal scoring opportunities, which we could have conceded from. So fair play to David Raya. Fair play to Donnarumma. Both goalkeepers were outstanding today. But it just, this is the image that I see whenever I see Trossard. This is what I'm gonna remember from this game. Trossard and Martinelli, man. Trossard and Martinelli, so annoying. So annoying. How many chances do they need? On the real, how many chances do they need? We had good opportunities. We had some good opportunities. Trossard especially had some good opportunities. Even the free kick late in the game, the ball came to Martinelli. Somehow he didn't do nothing with it. Honestly, I look at this game and I say to myself, this is where these kind of moments is where the game is won and lost. These kind of moments is where the game is won and lost. And you got to give Donnarumma his credit. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. 55 minutes in. Look at this. It's actually laughable. It's actually laughable, yeah. You know what? We spoke about the referees already. I'm not complaining about the referees. I'm not complaining about the referees. I'm not complaining about anything else. But one thing I will say is, Luis Enrique gets to laugh. Luis Enrique gets to laugh because he said before the game they've not played anybody of note at their ground. When asked about Arsenal's home record and not losing a game in the Champions League at home, he said, "Who have they played? Look at who they've played." And you know what? He came to our ground and he beat us. Fair play. What more can you really say about that? What more can you really say about that? Luis Enrique today came to our ground and it took us over an hour before we looked like we were the better team. They really took it to us today. Huge win for PSG. Huge result for them in the tie. And it's all on us now to go to Paris and come back. Can we do it? I believe we can. How are we going to do it? It's very simple. We're going to have to make sure Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Odegaard is the midfield. And you know something? If Odegaard is not working over at Paris, you sub him off quick, and you put in Ethan or you put in Trossard, whoever you have to do. But none of this bullshit. It's annoying. I believe we can come back. I believe we can win this game. I believe we can get this tie sorted. But the issue we're going to have is very simple. How do we get the goals in the back of the net? Because if PSG get an early goal away at Paris, it's going to be on us to turn around the tie. It's going to be on us to go and friggin' have to break them down. Hopefully, with Thomas Partey there, we're going to be able to break them down a little bit easier. But right now, it's peak. But yeah, fair play to PSG. You deserve the win. Yeah, Thomas Partey is seriously missed. I get it. And yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna speak to you guys in a bit. Bro, I'm gonna message you in a bit. 1 second, bro. I'm literally live right now. Once I'm done, I'll message you. As for now, I'll catch you guys in the next video. So annoying, man. So annoying. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll let you guys know what we're doing, what the plan is, and yeah, it's gonna be a peak week until we play the next game, because all we're gonna hear is about how Arsenal's gonna get knocked out. Arsenal's gonna get knocked out, and everyone's just gonna be talking about that nonstop. So yeah, fucking hell, mate. Can't believe it. Super annoying. Anyways, catch you guys in the next video, boys. You already know what it is. Peace. Yeah, I got you with the redirects.